In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add photographic elements to your work to make it even more exciting. First thing I want to do is show you, let's look back at the original picture. This original picture has these potted plants on top of this building over here, and that would be a crazy thing to try to trace. You'd really lose the organicness of the plants. So we don't want to trace them, but we also don't want to lose them because they add to the, to the general atmosphere of the picture. To keep this without actually having to trace it, what I want to do is bring in a potted plant. Depending on what your picture looks like, you could have these photographic elements be the texture elements that you add that we talked about in a previous video. In this particular example, and I think in a bunch of your pictures, what you're going to want to do instead, though, will be to find a picture on Google Images and then bring that picture into this one. So I'm going to start this by going to Google Images, and I'm going to search potted trees. And I'm going to go to Images, and now I'm just going to look for potted trees. And I'm just going to look until I find something. I think these look pretty nice. So I'm just going to hit copy. If you want to, you can save the image and then open the image in Photoshop. I think copying it is a little simpler and will work just as well. We don't need this to be so big. We do want the resolution to be 300. And I'm going to create this. Now I'm going to hit Command V or Control V to paste it in. And what we have here is these trees on a white background. So we need to do two things. We need to take the color out and we need to get rid of this white background. Taking the color out is pretty simple. We just go to Use Saturation and we take the color out. I also think that this will look better if I made it entirely black, like if we just had the silhouette of it instead of all of these colors. And the way that you do that is by using levels. Levels controls the highlights and lowlights in the picture. So we can here's the whitest white and here's the blackest black. So we can either make the whole thing lighter, or we can do this, which is making the whole thing darker. And we can just stop at a point where it looks good. I think that this is too much because then it looks too fuzzy, which also is not good. Ooh, there we go. I think this is a good happy medium. Most of the color is gone, but we still see the details. I'm going to hit OK. Our next thing is going to be to get rid of this white background. A white background is actually one of the easiest things to get rid of because in this situation, because it's such high contrast with the black shape and it's such a flat color. Any flat color is easy to get rid of. I'm going to do this by going to Select, and I'm going to use this option called Color Range. What this lets us do is I'm going to use the eye picker, and that just picked everything that is the same color as what I just hit the eyedropper with. And like with the mask, whatever is white is what is in the selection, and whatever is black is not in the selection. I'm going to hit OK, and we see that the marching ants is surrounding the white. I'm going to hit Delete, and now the white is gone. Now we can bring our potted trees into the document. We can bring in 2 at a time, or we can just bring 1 at a time. I'm going to start with 1. Okay, and now I'm going to hit Copy, so Command or Control C. Now I'm going to paste it into this. And I'm going to paste it in on top. Even though we want it to eventually be underneath this railing, which is all the way down here. Sometimes when you oftentimes when you paste things into Photoshop, it pastes it in the middle of the document, and you really have no control over where it pastes to. So to make sure that we can find what you paste, I think you should start off by pasting it on top, and then you can move the layers around later. So I'm going to hit Command V, Control V if you have a PC, and now we have our potted plant. This is too big. The solution is going to be to free transform it. I'm going to hit Command T or Control T, and we're going to make this smaller. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Great. We can lower it. We can also make it, we can bring it down to where it's supposed to be, which is around layer 30. This is just going to be me moving the layers. Ideally, if you're organized with your if you're organized with folders, this kind of thing is easier to do. 43. Either way, I'm not going to mess around with this too much because you get the point. We can also add in the other two. Command D. Now I'm going to paste in both. Let's paste it all the way on the top. Oh, you know what? I must have done something wrong. Command C. Oh, you know what? The layer is not selected, so it didn't actually copy anything. Command C, teachable moment. Command V. Okay, and I didn't paste it on top of any of the entire document, but it's okay. Now I'm going to hit Command T to free transform it. Probably better if we have it in a place that's visible. I'm going to hit the check mark. I think that it might be better if the 2 is not near the third one. So I'm going to do it like that. And that is how you would add photographic elements to your pictures. If you have any questions, please let me know.